Okay, everybody. We've waited long enough. We are here to rock and roll. And hopefully you are as well. We can be joyous together, grow together, live together, love together. And if something else happens between us, we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. We shouldn't resist our hearts and our minds. Embrace it. Embrace it. How is everybody doing? We Starfield together. Dude, it's insane. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet I put out. We straight up had like, I'm not going to go into details, obviously, but we had an attack on the server down there where all of the footage for everything we do is stored. And yeah, it's crazy. Apparently, and as far as I can tell, they were trying to break into it to get access to the gameplay footage, because we have like dozens and dozens and dozens of hours of gameplay footage on that. And but that's why we have everything like super crazy encrypted, and like not even 2-factor authentication, like 15-factor authentication and all sorts of craziness. I'm a little anal with it, and this is why. Like I use those password generators that create like a 20-digit long randomly whatever thing. That's just insane. It's like lowercase c, uppercase B, 6, exclamation point, underscore, like a crazy password. And we rotate through those like, I think it's probably fine if I say it, like once a month. But it's because if they had gotten in there and if they had hacked in and stolen all of that footage and stuff, like I'd be screwed. Like they'd be able to go and then probably, I don't know if they could, but I would assume they could figure out that it was my footage, and then I'd have to prove my own innocence, saying that no, my footage was stolen. Like it just is a mess. So that's why we're very, very careful. That's why we're careful. But all this to say, those types of people are crazy, that are that crazy into Starfield or trying to spoil it for people. But that's the thing, is like, I don't know if that is something that a hardcore like Starfield fanboy would do to try and see the game early, or if it's something that like a Sony pony type of person would do to try and spoil the game for everybody. You know, like I don't know which is more likely. I have no idea. Yeah, wasn't there a guy that leaked stuff, and wasn't he recently arrested? I think they did get him on something like stolen property or something. I mean, you should be arrested for that stuff, frankly. It is theft. I have no qualms about that. Yeah, I just... Man. Bunch of a-holes. It's... I'm trying to like also type in the... type in the title and stuff and build the thumbnail for the video that's going up today. And I just casually typed in, because we just said, yeah, people who do that are a-holes. My brain passively typed, I'm a-hole, instead of the actual text for the thumbnail. Oops, that would have been funny. I'm a hole. Man, did the people who leaked The Last of Us Part 2 ever get caught? I think so. Because my understanding is the guy that leaked The Last of Us Part 2 was a subcontractor and was like disgruntled for some reason. Like, because basically a lot of video game developers will bring on contractors to work on like artwork or coding or whatever. And then they're on, of course, a contract. So they're only working for like 6 months on the game, or for a year, or until the project is done. And then they can apply to get a full-time job, but it's not super common. So apparently this guy was a contractor. He didn't get the full-time job, and that pissed him off so bad that he leaked everything. I would assume it's really easy to track down who that was. Because I think the original leaks, maybe I'm mistaken, but I think the original leaks, when they first dropped, he had like a picture of his work computer. Like he took a picture of his desk in his little office. I think he was working from home at the time. So yeah, I think they got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Arby's parent company is buying Subway for nearly $10 billion, apparently. I could see that. I mean, Subway's everywhere. It's probably worth more just for the like real estate that they own. It's the same thing with like McDonald's. McDonald's is more a company built on real estate than it is built on hamburgers, which is crazy. Oh, sorry, the volume for the text to
finish
speech.
RE6, then start Armored Core.
Final Friday. First of all, Brandon, thank you for the $4.99. It's payday. Getting rained on, installing some pipe on site. Gonna get home and force myself to finish RE6 and then start Armored Core. It's also rainy here, so when it rains, it pours, I suppose. Stay warm, my friend. And I will say, there's something just so delicious and wonderful and cozy about a rainy day filled with video games. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where the rain's pouring, it's kind of cold, so maybe you have to get like a blanket and you cozy up and you just play a game that you're really into and you just veg out. There is something magical about that. That's better than sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I'll tell you what right now. Like, oh God. It's so good. I still remember we had like a snow day in college and it was just, it landed in the part of the semester. All my homework was done. Didn't need to do anything else. And it was super snowy. It was like 3-4 feet of snow in the span of a few hours. And so like straight up blizzard level. So me and my buddy Corey, we just chilled in the basement of that college house. And I played through all of Celeste in a single sitting. And it was magical. I think it was like 9 hours or 10 hours straight of just Celeste nonstop. It was great. Oh, Jason, I'm telling you what. I mean, maybe if you're like in a King Cobra level dry spell and it's like, you know, you've got the hunger, but I'm telling you what, there's just something magical. It's like deep in my bones that loves a good rainy day with video games. She'll always treat you right. Luke, what edibles do you use? I don't know. I went to the dispensary like 4 or 5, 6 months ago with my brother, and he just walked in, and he's hardcore. He just walks into the dispensary and is like, you know, talking to people, kind of small talk. And then the bud tender, who's who you go to get your stuff, he walks up and is like, how can I help you? And I was about to say, oh, I just want something really chill and easy. I don't do the hardcore stuff. Jacob just steps up and says, I want to see the devil. And so they're like, oh, okay.
Hope you've been well, Luke. Stuck in LAX are in Lowell.
Oh no, you're stuck in LAX? Oh, that's rough. LAX, last time I was there was a ton of construction and it was not a super comfy airport. I'm sorry, LA people. I'm sorry. It was not super comfy. But the DIA, my airport, Denver International Airport, dude, I think it's Concourse C, where Southwest Airlines is built out of. They just redid the whole thing and also added I think they added something insane like 50 gates or 75 gates or something. It's massive. It's brand new. It is wonderful. Jacob, I see the Devil Diaz. Joey, see the Devil Diaz. Yeah, Joey. I love Joey Diaz so much. Is it true that Xbox sales spiked 800% in anticipation of Starfield? I don't actually know. Could somebody Google that? That would be a good story to look at. I mean, I would assume that they're seeing a jump in sales. I would assume. I'm a whole. I don't even know. With these so often, I'm like, Just not really feeling it quite yet. Oh no, my whole computer froze. Oh, there it goes. But like sometimes it's just a matter of like, is this clicking? Does this feel right? Does this feel like it fits? Okay. Well, it deleted that project. Oops. But yeah, it's just kind of like see what fits, what feels right. I like having a little bit of depth to it. And so like these AI tools also make it so easy to do this stuff now. Like look at this, look what I can do. Okay, so I can scale this down if I want the perspective shifted a little, maybe to like that. If I want to just generate the rest of it, I can just do this. Look, so I scoop it around like that. And then I can just, you ready? This is insane. I can just go generative fill. And then it runs its little thing and watch what it does. Like this is insane, okay? It's gonna blow your mind. It like just makes the whole process of making thumbnails like stupid. Like it just did that. And has different variants. Is that not ridiculous? Like, is that not just stupid? Like, and I didn't have to do anything. I used to have to go in with like the clone tool and like try to copy stuff and then try to draw random stuff that didn't really work. But now, like, boom, you're just good. It's insane. I don't know. I'm a hole. I don't know what to say. I tried it and now I'm a believer. So maybe we do that. I'm a believer. No, that doesn't do it. Sometimes like I'll type it out. I'm like, I'm not feeling it yet. Did I hear about the 40-minute Starfield leak? I did not. But based on that description, it sounds like Starfield leaked for like with 40 minutes or something. 40 minutes of it. I don't know. I'm excited to finally be able to talk about it. It's been very nice that they gave it to us like 2 weeks early. Because I've been able to test a lot more stuff than I normally would be able to do for a review. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. I'm trying to be on my best behavior though. We're trying to be very, very fair with it, very level-headed. So buckle up for that. Wet Donkey, thank you for the $9.99, my friend. Thank you, my friend. Happy birthday, Luke. Birthday was in June. I'll take it though. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. I can't talk about any specifics, guys. Obviously, but yeah, on the 31st, when the embargo lifts, you better believe we're gonna go in deep. We're gonna go in deep. Yeah, I used to work in commercial real estate. Sure did.
Forged Horizons is now a red flag.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to LA in October for CitizenCon.
Oh, really?
Probably my least favorite city that I've been.
I'll be honest, when I went to LA, it was for E3 2019, and I was struck by the disparity in like the communities, because half of the city is like ridiculously wealthy. And then the other half is like basically homeless. So, and there's, you know, suburbs outside, but we're talking about like core LA. I remember we were at the LA Convention Center and there's literally like tents all the way down the street. You can't see anything else. It's just tents for homeless people to live in. And a Bugatti pulls up next to it and it's just like, it was stunning because it's like a very expensive car next to people who are homeless and have nothing.
Publishers they want and how Sony and maybe Nintendo can compete.
Let's see. What do you think is stopping Microsoft from buying any and all devs and publishers they want? How Sony maybe can compete in Nintendo? First of all, in order to buy something, the seller has to be willing to sell it. You can't just waltz up and take something. That's called a hostile takeover. It only works for publicly traded companies, and even then it's usually incredibly messy and not worth the trouble, except for very particular instances. So for example, like Xbox couldn't just walk up and buy Larian. If they offered them like $1 billion, maybe, because it's probably not worth $1 billion, but they could probably waltz in and be like, we'll give you 500 million. And unless the owners want to sell it because they're a privately held company, they don't have to. And even with a publicly traded company, the board of directors and the people with the controlling stakes get to vote on it and decide if they're going to sell or not. Like, they didn't have to sell Twitter to Elon. They chose to sell Twitter to Elon because he offered way more than it was worth, frankly, which he realized after he offered that. But that's a whole separate thing. So they can't just walk up and buy everybody, to be clear. I do think they're going to buy more companies and they're going to buy more studios because Microsoft is sitting on like $120 billion in cash or something. Just insane. So they're going to keep delving into it and investigating other opportunities. One interesting thing is that apparently they're getting buddy with Ubisoft. You guys see that? They're going to be bringing the live service, like Call of Duty games or streamed games or something, the cloud component to Ubisoft in the UK. And they're going to be the hosting publisher or whatever. That's going to be very interesting. So they're starting to get buddy with Ubisoft. I can hear Lockie running around upstairs. It's pretty adorable. He's just sprinting back and forth. I don't know, what do you guys think? Just a gigantic, it is epic. Or is that a little on the nose? I'm like, what do we do? Like, I wish I had a formula for just like, oh, this works. Also, if you ever need to scooch something and you don't want to do any generative fill, this is a little trick I learned from PewDiePie. You just select a good chunk of it. Control J separates out the layer, creates a copy. And then you can just hold down Shift, stretch it a little. Nobody will ever know. Like, they'll have no idea. But it fills in the gap. It just works. It's just epic. It's hardcore. That works. Just ... Wow, maybe we do that.
Elder Millennial donated $5 through Super Chat. Your content is super dope, pretty chill, and is the only one where I can work and still listen and catch everything. Great stuff, bro.
Thank you, my friend. I also love the name Elder Millennial. That's hilarious. I'm a hardcore fan. Dude, there's so many puns. I love you guys. Yeah, I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And the super chats. You guys are being like stupid generous today. Is it what I'm wearing? Is that it? Just wow. You know what? We're going to do it for old time's sake. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. See, I had to change screens because I have a bunch of drafts for a potential Starfield thumbnail that I can't share. Oh my God, he's so coy. He's teasing us. Yes. Yes, I am. Sure did. Oh, maybe one thing we can do to add like a little bit of something is we can go in here, add like a little bit, just a dab of like the smoky effect over the text. See, just like that. Oh, it's subtle. but man, it can just make it feel like it's part of the rest of the frame, you know? Oh, I love it. I'm feeling good about this one, which probably means it's going to do terribly. Because that's how thumbnails and titles work for me. If I'm like, oh, it sucks, it usually does well. And if I'm like, ooh, I think this will do well, it does terribly. That's just how it works, boys and girls. Just ... Wow. Starfield leaked home screen. Oh, that whole thing. Yeah, that was cringe. Has Maddie been blowing you up about the game? No. Maddie and I haven't chatted in a minute. We were going to do a collaboration or two on Starfield like a month ago, and we just never got around to it. And I'm not entirely sure why. I was down to do it. I think Maddie got a little tired of having to defend it, and like the whole like Luke's the skeptic, Maddie's the fan. I don't think Maddie wants to be seen as the fanboy, which is totally fair. I don't think that that's a problem. So I think it's fair. And he's leveled out a ton. He's not hyping stuff up as much. He'll cover it. But it's not like Fallout 4 days where it's like Bethesda can do no wrong. If you want to see that, go to like Colt Eastwood's channel or like Lone Vault Wanderer. Those guys are just, I would argue, irrationally and irresponsibly hyping stuff up. And you can see it, like Colt Eastwood, he did that whole video of how Redfall looks like it's going to be the best Xbox game since, I don't even remember what he said, maybe Halo. And then we all know how that aged. Like milk. Like half rotten milk. So I think that is just the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Do I think Mirage will exceed expectations? It depends on whose expectations. I think if you go into it understanding this is a smaller in scope game, it's a little more lean, I think it'll be a really good time. I don't think it'll like blow anybody away. I'm not personally expecting any like, holy crap, wow moments, but I do expect it to be a good time over like 20 hours. Just a solid game that is different than anything we've gotten for the last like what, 10 years from Ubisoft. So personally, I'm really excited for it. We'll see, but I'm optimistic with it. Yeah, we're gonna look at all the stuff on like that they covered in frickin' Gamescom. We're gonna look at all that. The Warhammer 40K. Oh, we're gonna look at that too. That Space Marine 2. I've been saying for a while, I've been very interested in. Where's my mouse? Come on, mouse. There we go. I've been saying for a while I'm very interested in Space Marine 2, and it looks like, I mean, it's looking good. It's looking real good. So, can't wait for your Skull and Bones review. You might have to, because I'm not sure if that game's ever gonna come out. I think at this point it's like Ubisoft is just gently hoping for like an asteroid to just take out the studio so that they don't have to release it, because they're so, I don't know. They're doing play tests. So I guess that's good. Let's see. I didn't realize season 3 of Ragnarok came out. See you, Luca and chat. I must go indulge in learning of cinema. Ooh, baby. I understand. I've seen that whole story about a dude who stole a bunch of Starfield Constellation editions and was selling them and putting out videos, and now he's caught finally. Good. It's just so weird to me that people think you can just like steal stuff and then it's just fine. Like I don't. I did watch a video though. Was it? I think it was like retweeted or something. No. And it was somebody in like the Vouch circle of streamers, and it was a guy arguing that theft should be legalized because it's basically just a guaranteed means of redistribution of wealth, and it will create a more equal society if you legalize theft. And I was like, that's one of the most insane things I've ever heard. Yeah, Hassan also says the same thing. Yeah, it's like, no, you can steal from everybody else. Don't steal my stuff though. But yeah, you can steal everybody else. Oh, I said steal from the millionaires and I'm a millionaire. Oh, well, steal from the billionaires then. Don't steal from me, or the corporations. It's like, either way, you're stealing stuff, dude. Like, theft is theft. Are we just being stupid now? Are we playing the stupid game? I guess we are. Oh man, it's pretty, honestly, it's pretty frustrating that people that say such bafflingly stupid things have like a pretty huge platform like that. It's mildly heartbreaking. Okay. I think price scalping should be illegal. I'm like, I'm kind of torn, honestly, because on the one hand, I can appreciate the free market, the fact that somebody got this thing and it happens to be worth more now because demand has increased, so they can flip it for a profit. I can kind of get behind that. I dig it. On the other hand, that doesn't mean you're not an asshole. Like, if you buy up 10 PS5s when they launch to resell them at $1,200, I think, like, good on ya. You tackled the free market. You did it. Congratulations. You're still a prick. Like, that's my stance. You know, you're still an asshole. So, it gave me a little bit of joy and pleasure to see that, like, when the PS5 stock started to increase, all those people that had dozens of PS5s they bought on credit cards and stuff, maxed out, they all of a sudden were left with a ton of PS5s and like, I don't know what to do. And so they had to offload them at cost or below cost. And so they just lost tons of money. And it's also one thing people don't seem to factor in. It's like, if you buy $10,000 worth of PS5s to flip and try to sell for a profit, that's great if you can do that. But if you don't, your credit card probably has like 24 or 25% interest on it annually. So you're dealing like 2-3% per month. All of a sudden, you're getting slapped with some steep interest fees. And if you're not moving product, you're just hemorrhaging money. It just doesn't make any sense at all. I remember some of my boys spending $2K on a PS5 at one point just to play COD and 2K. Oh, dude, that hurts so much. That hurts my heart. Do I think I'll ever do a full critique of Jedi Survivor? Well, my friend. I basically did this one. So we did this whole deep dive. We went through the whole thing, and I think it gets the job done. I think it's the job done, honestly. So go check it out. Big, bold, and broken. I was in Poland when the Switch was first released, and I bought an extra one to resell for profit. When I got back to the States, I ended up just selling to a friend at cost because I was an idiot. Thoughts on the Trump mugshot? I don't know why he chose to do that. I mean, he could have just looked stern and like, I don't know. It was a weird, bold choice. The only thing funnier than that's happened in the last few days. Hold on. The only thing funnier than that was this freaking... Where is it? Come on, where is it? I'm looking for the clip. Does nobody just have the clip? Okay, no, here it is. This thing, you remember this? Like, what is that smile? I will not let you down. Like, what, dude?
We will get the job done, and I will not let you down. The smile.
Like, what is that? It's so uncomfortable. It's like, bro, stop. I don't know. I'm not, of course, going into any detail on politics and stuff, but you gotta admit, even if you're a DeSantis fan, what the hell is that? That's like some weird robot wearing a human suit thing. Like, that's weird. It's thoroughly uncomfortable. Yeah. He has some weird facial expressions. Apparently he also, and this is not a joke. Yeah, I can't make this up. Apparently he also has a habit of being in official like government meetings, eating pudding, like chocolate pudding, but he doesn't like to use silverware. So he will eat pudding with his bare fingers, scooping it out in like important meetings. So like he went to a campaign event recently and apparently he stepped out of the motorcade and people just started chanting, pudding fingers, pudding fingers, pudding fingers. What a nickname, dude. You can't even make it up. Like everybody was like, oh no, Trump's really good at making up nicknames. Crooked Hillary or Sleepy Joe. You don't even have to for DeSantis. Just pudding fingers. Oh, bro, it's so bad. It's so. Did you see the closing statements? He took like 3 seconds to start talking, just sitting there smiling. No, I didn't watch the whole thing. It's at this point in the election cycle, it's all just so stupid because it's everybody walking on eggshells trying to be like, so do we attack each other or do we play nice? Do we say what we actually think or do we try to tell everybody what we think they want to hear? Like DeSantis, like 6 months ago was trying to rail on Trump. Now he's backpedaled and now he's like trying to talk him up because their bases are the same. So he's just hoping that everybody abandons Trump and comes to him. So he wants to stay on their good side. So it's all so double-faced and it's really depressing that we have pudding fingers, a soon to be convicted felon, and a very senile old man as our options. That's where we're at now. It's just insane. Oh God. Yeah, we're putting Trump in his place. Ron DeSantis. Oh God, that's hilarious. That's freaking funny. Oh wow. Okay. Six Days of Starfield. Yeah, baby. Have you seen the picture of DeSantis in white boots? No, I've not. Just picturing that is scary. Do you like skill up reviews? I'll be honest, I don't watch them. I try not to like, we'll watch like IGN reviews and stuff, but other YouTubers and stuff, I don't want to like do too many reactions if I can help it. So yeah, no, I don't really watch them. Skull Up, Shill Up, that's another one. Classic. Hold on. Okay, you say Google it, DeSantis white boots. Oh no. What are we doing? What are we doing? Who approved that? Who said that was okay? Who? Someone let him walk out in public like that. Wow. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm shook. Oh God. Let's see. Where was the PlayStation Portal? Let me show you that. They also have heels. You're not wrong. They have like little heels. They look like rain boots.
Alonso Tovar donated $5 through Super Chat. Hey Luke, you think $200 is reasonable for PS Portal? What is your thought on it?
I said in the lead up to the announcement of the PlayStation Portal, which at the time we were saying it was just going to be the PlayStation Portable or whatever they'd end up calling it. And I said, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. As a product, I just don't get it. It's a streaming device. It doesn't do any computational stuff on the actual device. It streams, which isn't necessarily the worst thing. The Logitech G Cloud or something does the same thing. So there is a market for it, but and specifically with like adaptive triggers, the actual controller handles, I think that makes it a little more compelling. At the price point at $200, I think it's more convincing than what I was expecting. I was expecting $300. I think that $200 is more reasonable. However, apparently it doesn't support at launch PlayStation Now cloud streaming. So you have to play it connecting to your home PS5, streaming either over your home Wi-Fi or the console connects to your Wi-Fi, and then it can stream the footage to you in another location connected to another Wi-Fi network. All the times I've tried the PlayStation Remote Play, it's been ass. So hopefully this makes them make improvements, but it's already a very niche thing. Like we're talking very, very, very niche. So that makes me think it might not be too successful. And then beyond that, they announced some horrifically anti-consumer things with it, which are nothing short of shocking. Like, there is no way to spin it, as far as I'm concerned, where Sony does not come out looking like absolute maniacs with it. And let me show you what I mean. I thought MKBHD did a really good little breakdown of it that I want to just show you. It's just a YouTube short, so it's 60 seconds long. But he broke it down
Major
in the
Dookie
best way.
Juice is now a red flag.
Major Dookie Juice. Thank you for joining, Major Dookie Juice. Jesus Christ. That is quite the name, my friend. Wow. That's remarkable. That's something special, dare I say. Okay, let's see. And let's do that. I'm also going to pull this up. Where'd it go? Where's the link? Hold on. Please hold. Oh yeah, the Baldur's Gate 3 thing. Yeah, we can talk about that in just a second. Remind me to mention that right after this integration. Okay. Okay. Just publish this. Okay, here it is. Full screen, here we go.
So Sony just announced something called the PlayStation Portal. This is a portable gaming handheld with an 8-inch screen and DualSense controllers with all the same haptics as a normal controller, so you can experience PS5 games anywhere you go. And it's only $199.
So far, not bad. I don't think that's terrible. It's niche. Not everybody's going to get it, but at $200, I could see somebody who has a little cash to burn picking it up to play games remotely without having to boot up like the whole TV and everything. I could totally see this being like a solid, maybe not even like a travel companion option, but I could see this being something people want.
Seems pretty sweet. But then the thing is, the more I look into it, the worse it gets. First of all, it is a remote player accessory, so there's no local processing happening. It's not a console. So your PS5 has to be on and connected to the internet to do all the work. All right, fine. But worst of all, by far, is this thing doesn't have Bluetooth, so the only way to use wireless headphones officially is to use some PlayStation Link compatible headset.
So the only way to use portable wireless headphones is to use PlayStation Link compatible headphones. Now, allegedly, it also has an audio jack, which is what Symbolic Legacy is pointing out. It does. Personally, I don't know a single person in my life that carries around wired headphones anymore. That might be just because I'm bougie. I do live in I'm very blessed to live in the good old USA in a better off community. So, you know, in more poor parts of the US or of the world, maybe they're more common. I personally can't remember the last time though I saw somebody using wired headphones. Even if they did, they were like those Apple ones that plug into the lightning port, you know? So there's that. And as for, you know, I see the comments pointing out, you're wearing some. So these are wired, but it's because these are technically considered audiophile headphones, and they use a 1/4-inch jack. This is not fitting inside that this is not fitting inside that portable device. And I'm not lugging these around. Just being honest. So there's that whole thing. What model headphones? These are the HD 600, I believe. Come on, focus, baby. You can do it, baby. Come on. There you go. HD 600s. Very nice. So like there's one thing to say that you have wired like office headphones, but again, this is a portable device. So you're expected, like if you're out on the train, assuming the train has Wi-Fi, or like if you traveled to some conference or you're at work waiting for customers or something, maybe you're a salesman and you're waiting for customers and you want to stream to this device through the office Wi-Fi or through the company's Wi-Fi to your console at home. The only way you could have audio is either to bring a wired pair of headphones and probably buy a pair because not many people have them anymore, or you have to buy PlayStation's like $200 PlayStation Link compatible headphones. There is no way of spinning this other than that it is horrifically anti-consumer.
Like the new $200 PlayStation Pulse Explorer earbuds. That might be the most outwardly anti-consumer feature in a new gadget I've seen in a long time. That's like, imagine if the new iPhone comes out and there's no Bluetooth this year and there's no headphone jack. So in order to use headphones, there's a new Apple wireless audio protocol that only works with AirPods. Even for Apple, that would be crazy. Tim, don't get any ideas.
And it also honestly kind of seems like something Apple would do. But not even
right,
Apple has gone to the lengths to do that. But PlayStation is. Like, PlayStation just consistently, they started, I think it was this year, with the PSVR 2, which by most accounts and measures is not doing too hot. They've slashed manufacturing expectations and production numbers because they're not selling them. People who bought them are frustrated because there's been very few games to play on it, so they're just sitting on people's shelves collecting dust. And PlayStation has come out and tried to add more accessories, but frankly, I've tried their Pulse headphones. I personally found them wanting. Granted, I am more picky when it comes to audio equipment than most people. As we mentioned, I use the Sennheiser headphones. I have a pair of Kef LS50 Mark IIs that I use. My headphones themselves have a dedicated headphone amp. So like, I will acknowledge and grant you, I am a little more picky when it comes to audio stuff. But I think even for the average consumer, it's a tough sell to be like, oh yeah, you like your AirPods? Too bad. You have to buy our version of the AirPods. Otherwise you can't use it on this device. Like, it's just ridiculous. And they say, oh, it's to save latency or something. Come on, dude. You're going to say, and this is what's really stupid about that. You want me to use your PlayStation Link headphones to reduce latency on a device that streams over the internet footage from a console potentially miles and miles away. Chill out. Like, what are you talking about? That's insane. That is not why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to make sure if you're going to pay $200 for this thing, and they're like, oh, if you have enough money to spend $200 on this very niche product, let's also take advantage of that fact and force you to buy another $200 pair of little earbuds that you're probably only going to use for this thing. Because let's be honest, if you have an iPhone, you're probably using AirPods. Just being real. And if you have Android, you're probably using like either Samsung's products, which are great, or something like a pair of Bose or something from a more accomplished audio company. Sony has great speakers. They have the capacity to do them, but a lot of Sony stuff is just contracted out to Bose. So it's not even necessarily Sony producing it. It's just the same headphone that Bose makes with a PlayStation design on it. And now with anti-consumer stuff wrapped up in it. So the whole product just frankly doesn't make a lot of sense. It still is probably going to get an army of people that order it and buy it. But frankly, I think it's going to start collecting dust pretty quickly. And you'll probably see them go on sale used for like $100 within just a few months. I just don't really see this as a compelling option. Maybe once they add full support for like the PlayStation Now streaming and they improve that, then it becomes compelling. Like, okay, I can just stream not just from my home console, but from anywhere. That's compelling. But I don't think this is the play. So I thought this was a big dud. I was expecting it to be a dud, but their casual announcement that they're also forcing you to use their headphones is insane. It's just ridiculous. And it's anti-consumer and you should not be okay with it. just being real with you. Just being real. I would be okay with that if the headphones weren't $200. If they were $30, it'd be fine. I don't think it would be though. And here's again where my bougie nature comes out, because a $30 pair of headphones, when I have like a $200 pair of AirPods or something that I would rather use that have much better audio quality, to force me to use the inferior audio product simply because it came from you is still anti-consumer. You know? Realistically, they should be bundling the earbuds with the device. At least then it wouldn't seem so aggressive, but then they'd probably be pricing this at $300-400, and that would be also insane. So just the whole package doesn't make any sense. And I don't know who's responsible for this. I don't know whose idea it was, who thought this was a good idea. Because frankly, it just doesn't seem like a good idea. But somebody within like the upper echelons of PlayStation heard all of this stuff pitched about this product, said, oh, that sounds good, and decided to greenlight it. And that's just ridiculous. I don't understand it. No part of it makes sense. Sophie, good to see you. Luke, I have a bit of a niche question. Will more of the critiques be added to Apple Podcasts and other podcast streaming platforms? Yes, we did run into a problem with a couple of the recent critiques. I'm actually going to make a note because I keep meaning to go back and dig into it. Where we submitted them for syndication on those platforms, and then they got kicked back and for whatever reason weren't allowed to be syndicated, and I'm not sure why. So I will check that. Part of it is I'm not sure where like the cutoff should be. If a video is longer than like 30 minutes, do we add it? Do we just add it for reviews and critiques? Like, I don't know if people have a preference. Like, are the shorter videos even worth that? I don't know. OMG, yay, because without sounding weird, I listened to them tell me sleep, and I'm only a third, or I'm on my third or fourth repeat of them all. Oh, really? That's crazy. Yeah, no, I'll check that, and we can jump on it. We should have a few big videos coming in the next couple of months. So, because I expect to do a pretty big, meaty deep dive into Starfield, probably also into Spider-Man 2. Baldur's Gate's gonna take a while, so hopefully we can get that done. But yeah, there's just a lot. Question in the chat though, and honestly I want your feedback. What do you think is a good length for a review for something like Starfield? Should I try to keep it like under 10 minutes, minimize potential spoilers, just cover like the broad strokes? Or do you like reviews for games you're interested in that are a little longer, like 30, 45 minutes? What do you think? What do you think? 20, 30, 40, 16, 16x. Longer, in depth. Bro, 3 hours at least. Well, to be clear, this would be like, our plan would be to do the review when the embargo lifts, and then a critique like maybe 2 weeks after that, once people have had a chance to really play it. So I'm expecting to still do the critique, but the first review, you know? Get it down
Matt
to 30
donated
seconds.
$19.99 through Super Chat. Early thanks for all the coverage and reviews coming up. Much appreciated.
Thank you, my friend. That's very generous. And yeah, it's going to be a good fall, I feel. It's going to be good. I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am where I can get these codes and we can cover these games, and yeah, we're very fortunate. Little personal life update real quick. Figure I should mention this. It looks like potentially, not settled in stone, potentially we are having to expedite our process of moving and getting a house, which is very good. That's a good problem to have. But we were initially thinking like next summer is when we'd be moving and trying to get into a house of our own, because we rent this one. And it looks like we're probably having to expedite that and maybe even get into a place by the end of the year. So that's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. Most of the places we've been looking at have unfinished basements. So we'd be basically moving in. I would set up a temporary studio in one of the bedrooms, and then we would finish part or all of the basement and build a custom studio in the basement, which would be awesome.
Through Super Chat. I believe Starfield is fake and it's one big elaborate ruse for Todd Howard to sell Skyrim again. As soon as you boot up the game, you're in the wagon.
Oh man. Oh, is this where I do like something really coy? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see when the game comes out. Colorado housing market is nuts. Best of luck. Right now, actually, to be a buyer, as long as you understand you're paying more and as long as you can afford the houses you're looking at, it's actually a good time to be a buyer, because all of these sellers, if they're selling, they're desperate. Nobody wants to give up a 2 to 3% interest rate, right? So if they're selling, they're desperate to sell. And if you're a buyer and you understand where the prices are and that you can afford it, and you come in, you find a house in budget, the seller's willing to get the deal done because they're selling it because they're desperate. And then you get a house that you can currently afford that fits your needs, presumably. And then if rates drop, you get to refinance. And secondly, the moment rates drop, a flood of buyers are going to hit the market because everybody's waiting on the sidelines right now for lower rates. And guess what? When there's more buyers in the market, values shoot up because there's more demand. So with a steady supply, increased demand, prices will rise. economics 101, baby. And that means that the value of your home also skyrockets. And then you can refinance based off of the increased value. So it's expensive. But as long as you can afford the house, you know, you're good. Yeah, if rates drop, my son. Exactly. If. Most economists that have been looking at it are thinking that rates probably start dropping next year a little bit. They probably plateau to like the 4% range. I don't think they're ever getting down to basically free money, which is what they were during COVID. But I think they do get more reasonable. Baldur's Gate 3 for Game of the Year. At this point, I don't know how else. Like, Tears of the Kingdom's great in a lot of ways, of course. Baldur's Gate 3 is also amazing. Tied it for Metacritic score. So critically, it's just as praised. And it's also coming to PS5 and Xbox. Which, by the way, in case you guys didn't hear, apparently the executives at Larian met with Phil Spencer at Gamescom. And Phil Spencer agreed to make an exception for Baldur's Gate 3 to allow it on Xbox without the game being identical on Series X and S. So he's making an exception where Series S will not have local split screen co-op, but the Series X will. Because that's the only thing that's been holding it back from releasing on Xbox is that the Series S can't run it. So he made an exception for it. Now, that makes a pretty crazy precedent, frankly. It sets a strange precedent because up to now, the promise has always been that the games will be in parity with each other on the consoles, on the two platforms. The Series S will run the Series X games identically, just at a lower resolution and lower frame rate usually. Now that's different. Now Phil Spencer is setting the standard that you can release them identically, but if you need to, and if the game's successful enough, he can make an exception where the game runs worse on at least on paper compared to the Series X. I mean, it just reaffirms everybody was saying that the Series S was a little bit of a blunder on Xbox's part. It just didn't make sense. I think they had success with the Xbox One S at a lower price point, so they figured, oh, we'll just do that again next console generation. And somehow they didn't think it would be a problem to basically have the RAM. And now look where we are. There's many developers much smarter than I who have come out and said, no, it's a problem. Like, if you're trying to make cross-platform games, you are limited by the lowest common denominator. And that is the Series S, which is basically just an Xbox One X. So you're basically limited by the most powerful console from last generation. So, it's just, you're in a tough spot if you're trying to develop for cross-platform. So I think the Series S was a huge blunder. I don't know if he ever changes his mind or shifts. At this point, I think he's got to ride out the generation, and I hope next gen they don't make the same mistake and do 2 SKUs. I think they'd be much better served coming out with the most powerful console they can in the form of like the Series X, and then doing a mid-gen refresh if they want to add a second SKU that's more powerful. But the Series S, I think, was an oopsie. No, the CPU is better. We're talking like in terms of RAM, in terms of I forgot the term. I don't remember what it's called, but in terms of like actual graphical power, what I am to understand is this: the Series S is pretty much as capable as the Series X with a more powerful CPU, but in terms of actual bottlenecks in the development process, it's about on par with that. Do I think the Starfield delay was worth it? Oh, you're not gonna trick me like that, baby. You're not gonna trick me like that. Good try though. That was good. That was a good try. I'll give you that one. Let's see. Damn you, Luke, for being smart. It's just the little things, you know. You want to just. I almost made an oopsie where somebody asked me a question that I thought was public knowledge. I thought it had already been announced that this was this way. In terms of like technology and something that's supported. Because in the game
Joe
you just
Nada
check it and
donated
it's like, oh, yes or no.
$4.99 through Super
I almost made a
Chat.
big oopsie.
I live in MD and my brother's neighbors are devs at BGS. I lost to their son in the final of an Uno tournament we had. They gave me a faux figure. I'm 32.
Really? That's freaking hilarious. That's awesome. My brother's neighbors are devs at BGS. That's cool. That's cool. I've always thought Maryland was beautiful. I think it would be wonderful to live up there. I missed a super chat. Oh no. Hold on, let me check. Oh, Rango. First of all, thank you for the 2. And I can't answer that. The question for everybody was, does Starfield have cross progression or save? If they've spoken on it, you can Google it, but my stance right now is I don't want to potentially break any embargo, any issues, or I don't want to do any of that. So if I'm not sure that it's been publicly announced or disclosed, I'm just not going to say, you know. You understand. I mean, you get it. Yeah, Mao, Grandma Sue. Grandma Sue. Yeah. I can't find an official answer. Honestly, if you tweeted directly at Pete Hines, he's actually been going through and answering a lot of questions, a surprising number of questions, honestly. So he might be able to answer. Did you like AC6 unironically or what? Can you please lay it out? I will watch your video later. Don't know if you have the title as sarcasm. No, I straight up get it. I think the game, frankly, plays a lot better than it shows. The videos don't do it justice, frankly. I think also a lot of the trailers didn't do it justice. But once you actually start playing it and get a feel for the combat, and then you also get a feel for the mech customization especially, it starts to click. So I think that's the big thing, is just it plays a lot better than it looks. At least for somebody like me, it plays much better. So I went into that video last night and I was like, we'll see. I don't know, might just not click with me. But the more I played it, I was like, oh god, I'm actually a fan. So I've been getting more and more into it. Of course, I'm in this tricky spot where I'm also like, I want to play now Armored Core. I have to spend a lot more time messing around in Starfield, though. It's a very good problem to have, but like it's been a whole thing. It's been a whole thing. I'll try not to say too much. It's got that FromSoft feel, you know? Oh yeah, baby. Oh, AC, I thought everyone was talking about Assassin's Creed. Oh, that will come. Its time will come. The spider boss, I hate that, man. Like, people were saying, oh, it looks easier. It looks like it's not as hard. Dude, it can get pretty tough. It can get pretty nasty. I'm going to be honest with you. It can get pretty crazy. So, yeah, I think maybe for some people who are veterans, maybe it's easier. I'm not sure. But the game can get freaking hard. Okay, we're back. We're back. Yeah, OBS shit the bed again. Okay. Okay, we're back. I don't know why it's been doing that. It just randomly will drop to like 200 kilobytes and I have to like stop the stream and immediately restart it. Then it reconnects. It's really weird. I don't know why. The McDonald's Wi-Fi, yeah. McDonald's Wi-Fi on a VPN. It's been almost 10 days since LTT's last video. What are your thoughts on that? Do you see a new video coming anytime soon, or are they in full damage control mode? What are your thoughts? I think they are trying to make sure that when they come back with something, they have like something actually to share. They don't want to just come back and be like, yep, so we're just going to keep making videos, but we totally promise things are improving. I think they want to be able to come back and say, no, this is the changes we've made. We're going to drop the video production. We're going to do this, this, and this. And so I give them credit for it. I think they've been AFK longer than anybody expected them to, in a good way, hopefully. But so allegedly they are getting an independent reviewer to come in and talk to everybody and make sure things are compliant. And as far as I can tell, they're doing everything right, which is good. I mean, they're doing everything everybody asked them to do. They're halting video production while they fix stuff to give employees a break, and they're bringing in independent reviewers to make sure everything is up to par. And they seem to be taking it seriously enough that they are losing tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue by not putting up videos and stuff. And they've probably, let's be honest, they've probably also lost a handful of sponsors with all of this. If I was like a small startup company and I was looking at paying them to do a little review of my product, after all this crap that they did with that copper heatsink, I wouldn't want to send it to them because I don't know if I can trust them. So I think they've lost a lot of money and they seem to be trying to fix things. So they lost a lot of float plane money as well. Yeah, I think they're doing everything right as far as I can tell. So hopefully when they come back, they have some stuff to share. Hopefully they listened to the criticisms surrounding their initial video when they were constantly joking about LTTstore.com and sponsors and stuff. It just left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth. It's like, yeah, you basically stole this product from a small startup company and screwed up the review, but still posted it and then tried to blame everybody else for saying that you screwed it up. And then on top of all of that, you come in and you don't take it seriously and you're cracking jokes and trying to get people to buy your merch through the whole video. Like, come on, dude. It was just bad. So, yeah. Everything's breaking. Yay. Okay. Well, we're back. I don't know. Everybody refresh. He said Starfield too many times again. Let's see. It's the ads. Maybe it is the ads. Hold on. I didn't realize ads were enabled on this. Can I turn it off? Oh, yeah, they did. Oh. YouTube turned them on and set it to every 12 minutes. Oh. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay. Have they made an announcement if they're doing a WAN show today or not? I don't think so, as far as I know. Anyway, so I have no idea why the stream is randomly dropping out. Just being honest. Let me check one thing. It might be that our server is trying to upload stuff at the same time. Let me double check, but I don't think that's what it is. Let's see. I don't know. The thick plottins. Oh, wow. Someone has a pic of you on their thumbnail saying you're a fanboy. With what? With what? Oh, that's funny. A fanboy for maybe Assassin's Creed. I get Assassin's Creed. I've been like, yeah, I'm a boy and I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed. I'll give you that. I also am responsible for more probably like a bashing towards the Assassin's Creed brand than many creators out there. But I don't know. Tesla fanboy maybe? Oh yeah, Lego? I could see Lego fanboy. I think that's fair. Okay, nope. sync on that is paused, so I don't think it's the server. So I don't know. We're just gonna roll with it. I'm glad I have YouTube Premium. Yeah, dude, I just checked, so maybe I can share it with you. I'm sure I'm allowed to share it. Hold on. Monetization. Okay, so look at this. Look at this. So I have it set now to manually. Okay. It defaulted to let YouTube insert mid-rolls for you, and then you can choose where you want to put it. So by default, it's at balanced, conservative, lower earnings potential, but less interrupted viewer experience, balanced in both ways, and then aggressive, more interrupted viewer experience. And then you can also choose like schedule, and then this is what it was set at. It was set at 12 minutes. So they will even allow you to set it for 6 minutes. Like, so YouTube's trying to do it that Twitch way. YouTube's trying to come in and get their Twitch kind of money. I don't know. I guess maybe for, I don't know what kind of stream wouldn't, like, people wouldn't mind the super aggressive ads. I don't know. Maybe the kind of stream where it's like you have to watch it. It's like the funeral of Michael Jackson or something. I don't know. I'm a half hour behind you, but I was curious, what are you currently working, or are you currently working on anything with Liza P? I'm not currently working on anything with Liza P, meaning I don't have a review code currently. I don't have anything like that. But I fully expect to be reviewing it and covering it when it gets closer to launch. That's my full expectation. Let's see. Yeah, Proto, I think Phil Spencer has done a much better job in terms of PR than Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan's just AFK. He's like, but it's because he's not really a gamer. So going to Gamescom, like I saw the video of Phil Spencer with Todd Howard at the Stalker 2 booth at Gamescom playing the game together and trying it with each other. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But it's because Phil Spencer's a gamer and Jim Ryan's not. And you can tell. And I think that that's, you know, it gets him some credit. Now, whether you think Xbox is worth buying, like if you think you should get a console, is a separate question. But at the very least, at a core level, I find Phil Spencer to be a very sweet guy who's actually passionate about the industry. Whereas Jim Ryan, I think, is coming in just to try and maximize the bottom line, and he's doing, frankly, a pretty piss poor job of it. As we've seen with committing to hilariously terrible live service games, like that one I can never remember the name of, with like a $sign in the title, and then other projects that he's greenlit, which might be successful, might not. I mean, they've spent years developing The Last of Us Factions, and that's gone seemingly nowhere. They've had to delay it indefinitely while they rework it because they didn't think it was going to make enough money. So I just think we'll see what the long-lasting legacy is at the end of this console generation, but my feeling is that Phil Spencer will have the better legacy than Jim Ryan. Personally, at this point, a few years in, that's where I'm at. I'll probably just get a PC rather than an Xbox. I finally defended my PhD and got a job. Now just waiting on moving start date for the to get the PC. First of all, congratulations. That's insane. Defended your PhD, got a job. Congrats to Proto. Shout out to Proto in the chat, boys. That's tremendous. Yeah, that's fantastic. Congrats, my friend. That's wonderful. Space Marine 2 previews. Yeah, we're gonna pull them up here in a second. Let me just pull it up now before I forget. Space Marine 2. Full new gameplay. Yeah, I just want the gameplay. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that. A new tidbit on Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Black Myth Wukong, Crimson Desert footage, all that stuff. Let's see. Elvish, yes, any YouTube female gamer you would like to do a collab with? I'm always open for collabs. We actually have a few, what's the term? Irons in the fire right now. Like we have a few people we're talking with to potentially do collabs. So we're working on stuff. But I'm always open to doing collabs with, I won't say everybody because there's some I just, might not be beneficial for anybody, but, yeah, no, I'm always open to it. Let's see. Force Gaming. Oh, we could try to do something with Force Gaming. Maybe over like, I don't know. Oh, we could do it on that the day before. We could do a collab on the day before. That could be really funny. Let's see. Casa Dude, I had gotten into such a rut with the PhD, but thankfully pushed through and graduated. Luke's videos and streams helps a lot. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, again, just congrats, my friend. That's an accomplishment right there. Killer Bean, is that a creator? Or are you just tricking me into Googling Killer Bean? Oh, it's a game trailer. I mean, we can look at this. We can look at that. Let's see. Will there be a Maddie collab when you guys can talk about Starfield? I'm down for it. I'm very interested in hearing his thoughts. But I've not spoken to any other creators. I've not spoken to anybody else with a review code, so I've not bounced anything off of anybody. But what I can say is I'm very interested in hearing what Mr. Maddie Plays is going to say about Starfield. Okay, let's look at, first of all, let's do Warhammer 40K, the new gameplay they dropped for that. And then let's look at Crimson Desert, because that also looks amazing. Okay, you ready? You ready? Let's do it together. Okay, here we go.
Tyranids have the orbital guns.
These unrelenting attacks make a counteroffensive difficult.
We shall take care of that.
So already, I think audio design, graphically, it looks pretty good. Thematically, it's perfect. You can see these are standard, like normal human beings. Space Marines are like built and crafted, genetically modified to be giants, basically. And so you get a sense of scale right off the bat. In terms of other info, we have grenades. It looks like maybe an ultimate ability where you can like rage or something. I don't know. And then you have your bolter, and then maybe a healing item down there on the bottom right. But in terms of scale, it's about right. It's about right. We'll see what the enemies look like. To be fair, I've seen little snippets of all of this stuff. I've purposely not looked at pretty much anything from Gamescom. It was a very busy day on Wednesday. We were gonna do or Tuesday, whenever it was. Tuesday, whenever it was. We just didn't have internet for like an entire day from like 9 a.m. to I think it came back on at like 8 p.m. We just didn't have any internet because a fiber optic cable got cut or something. I don't know. It was really dumb.
These unrelenting attacks make a counteroffensive difficult.
We shall take care of that.
Also, the cloth physics. Not many games nowadays weirdly have cloth physics. They have like paired rigged animations for the cloth, but it's not true cloth simulations anymore. So this seemingly supports it. Now, this is being published by Focus Entertainment. Focus Entertainment, they've been killing it recently. They are the masters of the AA game right now. They really know how to pick the projects, and they've just been doing a great job with it. The Plague Tale games, they're behind those, and I think Plague Tale Requiem was one of the best games last year. So as far as I'm concerned, they know what they're doing. Usually their games review at like the 7 to 8 out of 10 range, but are still like very Like, they're worth playing. They might not be winning any Game of the Year awards, but that allows them to go in and appeal to more niche groups. But already, I mean, looking at just the lighting on this guy over here, it is very precise. All of this seems very, very well done. And I'm guessing all hell is about to break loose when the Tyranids come down the hill. So let's see. What is this for? I believe this, I'm imagining this is captured on PC. But I believe it is running on a PC, but I believe it's also coming to PS5 and Xbox Series as well. It might also be last gen compatible too. I don't know. Can somebody check that in chat?
Later! We've got more incoming from the east!
Move to reinforce the eastern flank. You, go with him.
We will assist in the defense.
Very good, my lord.
Dude, look at the actual, like, the fumes and smoke coming out of the jetpack. Can you guys see that? It's not jetpack. I'm gonna get crucified for saying jetpack. Look at this. Like, just look at, they're actually simulating it, and you can see the like heat distortion. That's very detailed. I wasn't ready for that. Okay, oh baby. I'm paying attention now. Oh, look at him.
We will see about that. I hope you're keeping score, brother. Oh, I am. Here they come.
Just to put it in perspective, each one of these bullets he's firing from that bolter is like the size of a bean burrito from Taco Bell.
My lord, intelligence reports multiple swarms closing in.
Direct us to them.
Sending coordinates to your Auspex display.
Burrito gun. Yeah, dude. Okay, slight diatribe. I'm just going to say it because it needs to be said for the sake of humanity. Apparently, you can't order a steak quesarito at Taco Bell anymore. You have to order it like through their app or something. Otherwise, you can't order it. And they won't even make it for you if you walk up to the store and try to buy it. They don't even let them press the button on the computer if you walk up. You have to do it like through the app or something. It's insane. It is anti-consumer, and I'm ready to riot because steak quesaritos are the only reason you should go to Taco Bell.
This will serve me well.
My lord, we are preparing an airstrike. Can you hold the enemy in place until it hits?
Consider it done.
Just look at the swarms of Tyranids coming down. Oh man. Also in 40k lore, the Tyranids are mortifying. Like all this craziness is happening and it's like, okay, I think we can push the Tyranids back. We're doing okay. Well, everybody in the universe of 40k thought that like all of the Tyranids were coming from one cluster and they just kind of were coming through maybe a wormhole or I don't know what they call it, but like they're coming through this portal in this spot. But now in the lore, they're also coming from the edges of the known galaxy, universe, whatever. Meaning that the groups that they've been dealing with so far, so like all of these swarms, are probably just the scouting parties. The real fellas are yet to even show up. So it's like insane. I'm very excited to see where it goes. You think there's going to be other enemies like Chaos Marines, Orcs, Eldar? I think it would be cool if they made an appearance. I'm not expecting that. I think this is just going to be Space Marines and Tyranids. Keep it simple. But hopefully if this does really well, they get greenlit to make another game where they can start to throw those in. I think having like Orcs in a game would be freaking hilarious. And I mean, think of the meme potential. Because if you're not familiar, in the universe of 40k, Orcs are just the most outrageous, silly groups ever. Like there's a story in the lore. Well, let me back up a little. Orcs have this weird thing like the power of belief and imagination. So if they think something is the case, it is the case. Magically, it just is. So if they believe that this pile of rocks and sticks and duct tape that kind of vaguely looks like a car is a car and will operate like a car, if they believe it, it will be a car. It will operate as a car. So all of their models are built on like trash that they've assembled, but they believe it will work, and so it does. And there's also stories in the lore where like there's I don't remember who it was, but there's like a soldier at the end of a hallway, a long hallway, and he's being charged by swaths of orcs, and he's firing at them, taking them out one by one, and they're getting hit and dropping dead. But he runs out of ammo. And thinking quickly, he starts yelling, bang, 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 and yelling it. And because they believe they're being shot, they actually drop dead as if they've been shot because they believed it was the case. So it was. But then the people behind them realize he's just yelling, or the orcs behind him realize he's just yelling bang. And then they don't believe it anymore. And they become invulnerable to it. And so they charge him and take him out. So they sound like they'd be flat earthers, probably. So orcs are just outrageously fun, and there's all sorts of ridiculous things that can happen with their power of imagination. But they're the meme army in 40K. There are many, many others that are just freaking badass that would be so cool for a video game like like a lot of the Chaos Marines would be good. Let me see if I can find where is he big boy. I don't remember what his name is. Angron, like the World Eaters. This whole army, like they can just be summoned back from the dead. So like imagine a gigantic dragon Primarch mini god with armies of highly trained soldiers that you have to take down that can also just be like summoned back to life. Like it would be so cool. There's so much potential in the world of 40K for video games and stuff. I'm shocked we haven't seen more of it, but hopefully games like this start to get more and more successful, and they're starting to get more attention, and then they get greenlit for bigger, production budgets, and crazier stuff happens.
Reloading weapon. Leave not one of them standing.
You guys are right, though. It does kind of have that Gears of War vibe to it. Oh, it's juicy. Yeah, why haven't they done more of these? They mostly have done RTSs. I think they mistakenly thought that because 40K is a tabletop RPG, that type of turn-based combat is all the fans would want. And that's just not the case. There are people that are really interested in the universe that frankly don't like the turn-based stuff and the slower gameplay and would love a sort of Gears of War styled version of this. So I think the fan base is bigger than they realize it is, or more varied, I guess. Oh, imagine Larian doing Warhammer though. Oh, don't even get me started. I will cream. Don't even get me started. I'm so sorry. Airstrike. Clean up.
A direct hit, Major.
Yeah, baby.
The eighth never miss.
Tread carefully. The spores detonate when threats draw near.
Then let us take the advantage and destroy them.
So, my main point of interest and my questions around this are tied up in like long-term progression. Because this being a co-op game, I presume you're going to be going through a lot of these levels, you know, repeatedly. You're going to be doing a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So my question is, like, are you upgrading your guns as you get more and more experienced in the levels and in the fights that you're going to be going through? Like, what does this game look like after 50 hours compared to after 5, you know? That's what I'm interested in. I've watched the Astarias videos so many times. Yeah, dude, those are so freaking well done. It's insane. But I agree. I also, the lore is crazy.
Reloading.
Ooh,
There they are. The orbital guns.
orbital guns, baby. It's like in Star Wars Episode 5 on Hoth with the weird boob cannon.
Deploying frag grenade.
For a gigantic super soldier, he throws that like
Reloading weapon.
an infant. Just kind of like chuck that bitch.
Angels! We're saved.
I mean, they seem to have done a really great job with the animation and cloth physics of what you're going to be staring at through most of the game. I mean, the armor suits.
Open the gate. Yes, my lord.
Lord.
The gates.
If this guy tells you open the gates, you open the damn gates. I don't know how it fits in with the first game. I don't know.
You will serve your emperor, soldier. Into position, men. Do not let them surround you.
Oh, just an ocean of them.
Trying to get up here. Take them down.
I wonder if they asked like Team Asobo for help getting the swarms working. Because that's also under Focus Entertainment. I know that they're separate studios, but I wonder if that was something that happened. Because it's very similar to the rats in Plague Tale. Oh god!
Eliminate the remains of the swarm. Osman, they will all get these gates closed. We must focus on taking down the heights.
There's so many!
Do not relent in your attacks. We are wasting time. Proceed through the gates. Need to never seen orcs do that. Easier to kill. You have yet to see the worst of them.
Yeah, Henry is such a diehard fan. I don't think he would commit if it wasn't looking like he could do what he wanted to do with it. So I agree. The fact that he's involved gives me a lot of comfort. Didn't Saber make World War Z? I think you are right. Yeah, they did. So that very well could be it. They just used the same tech from that.
Changing magazine.
It's also just for anybody interested in 40K, it is a very good time to get into it. They just, with 10th edition, simplified a lot of stuff. Not in a bad way. It's just more approachable. Like, it used to be that you had to basically memorize a book to be able to play. And now, it's much more approachable. Later today, actually, I'm going over to Caleb's place, and we're going to be playing.
Reloading weapon.
A part of me wishes Arnold Schwarzenegger voiced an Ultramarine. Dude, that would be great. That seems like a match made in heaven. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised we never got like an 80s movie with Arnold at his peak. This started in the 80s, I believe. It was like 83 or 84. I can't tell if that was a door knock or not. Someone there? No, I think somebody dropped something upstairs. Dude, I mean, it looks pretty fire. It looks pretty fire. Now, this is the original, and it's kind of broken now. So a lot, like the servers don't work, the online connectivity doesn't really work. But this is the first game. And I tried to play it, I don't know, last year or 2 years ago or something with Caleb. And I just couldn't really, I mean, it was just broken. Like we had to sit in a queue for like ages. Oh, here's some orcs. But you see like that whole thing, the whole reason that all of this works is because they believe it works. It probably is just held together with duct tape and glue, but it's just funny. Late 80s, stopped in the 90s. Yeah, I think it started, when did 40K come out? It came out in 87. Okay. 1987. Rick Priestley created the original rules set based on contemporary second edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battle alongside Warhammer 40K. Game World. Okay. A Rogue Trader. Okay. In 1982, he joined. Warhammer Fantasy is where it started. Interesting. So it's been around for a minute. There are people that have been collecting this stuff for, it's insane to think about, going on 40 years. That's wild. That's wild, dude. Us nerds have to stick together. Luke, have you seen the Cyberpunk 2.0 and the Phantom Liberty video from Gamescom? Thoughts? Are you going to cover Black Myth WukOn 2? Yes, yes, and yes. Well, let me be clear. I've not seen the footage yet. We're going to look at it together for the first time here together, sitting closely with each other. So we're going to look at that. To be clear with all of it, let me pull this up and that up. Pause it. Okay. To be very clear with all of this, my stance on Cyberpunk 2077, I guess we can shift into that and then we'll get to Crimson Desert and all that stuff. My stance with all of this is that we should look at the DLC for Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty very skeptically, just like we should look at Starfield and anything else, because the last thing that these companies did were like criminally terrible. They were horrible. So they have to win us over. They have to do more work to win us back than us just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Now, part of that comes with what they show, what previews look like, all of that. But at the end of the day, we don't really know anything until we see reviews. Just like with Cyberpunk 2077, just like Fallout 76, all these games, they might have previewed well-ish, but until we see what the reviewers actually say when they play it, you don't know what it's actually delivering. Because, of course, these studios are going to try to make it out that these games are really polished or really good. It's what's always so hilarious to me is when people are like, oh, but X developer said that the game is really polished and they have a new engine and that they've done this and that and they have extra engineers working on it. Of course, dude, they want to sell you a game for 60, 70 bucks. Of course they're telling you what you want to hear. I can't believe this is like shocking. But yeah, they might not be telling you the whole truth because they're trying to sell you a product. It's not that complicated. So, you know, trust but verify, perhaps. But in the case of some of these companies, I don't think you should trust them at all. I think that they've forfeited the right to be trusted in the case of like Cyberpunk or Fallout 76. So we have to look at it skeptically. That being said, this, I think, still can look really, really good. And in this case, I'm fully expecting that this is going to look badass. I can't talk, of course, about whether Starfield is in fact polished. All I'm talking about, I'm saying the exact same thing I've been saying for, at this point, years about BGS and about CDPR. As far as I'm concerned, they have to win us over, and they might. Maybe Starfield wins us over. Maybe Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty wins us over. Maybe. We shall see. 1 week to go. Exactly. 1 week to go.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
New ways to play.
V, my favorite merc. Welcome to Dogtown. There's a job. Coordinates provided. You know what to do.
Get your ammo, assault rifles, tactical gear.
Tactical gear.
The logical choice.
Damn. Green view. Home stretch.
Dude, that overdrive lighting is
Roberto,
ridiculous.
Clock your chrome before the fight. Not a bad.
This alone, I think, is a huge improvement. One of my biggest criticisms of Cyberpunk 2077 in my big critique, which is like 5 hours long. If you didn't sit through it, I totally understand. If you did, shout out. You're awesome. But if I can just rewind a little bit further, one of my biggest critiques of the game was that they had all these crazy cybernetics that they put in the game, but they were so freaking expensive that very few players would ever get to engage with them. And it was really weird because I'm like, you have all this crazy stuff in the game that most players are never going to see because they have to grind for like 20 hours to get enough credits to go and buy one of these things. So it just was not priced properly. It was not accessible. It just didn't work. So to see them totally overhauling all of that is awesome.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, cars were also crazy expensive as well. Yeah. Luke, there's also a video released today about RTX and DLSS 3.5 or something working on Cyberpunk. You might want to check this out too. It looks amazing. I am down. I did watch that video on DLSS 3.5 where it actually can improve ray traced lighting visually because it basically recycles like ray traced or paths of light that have previously been ray traced for previous frames. And so it can bring all of that data into the current frame to inform the lighting more intelligently. And it's freaking cool. It's actual magic. Again, it just goes to show you that AMD FSR2 and even FSR3, as far as I've been able to tell, is hot dog water compared to DLSS. DLSS is just on another level.
I'm ready. Get this show on the road.
Squish. Relics filter.
Job done.
Premium work, V. I'm closing the gig and sending you a little bonus. Something that will spirit you home safely. Someone dispatched a hunter. Good luck.
Fuck incoming! Fire till she drops!
Got a netrunner cinch here! Need backup right now!
All nearby units. We got a situation in Watson. Roger, dispatch. We're on our way.
NC police, for fuck's sake.
Your actions are illegal.
Let me put it this way. No gun, no fun.
Max tech?
Time to tilt out. Fuck. That was close.
Bravo.
Dozens of new story quests and gigs, vehicle combat, mounted weaponry, revamped police system, combat AI overhaul, endless dynamic events and missions, redesigned cyberware and perks, all new relics, skill tree and abilities, increased level caps, 100 plus new items, weapons, cyberware, and fashion. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, props to them for doing all of this work on a game that released going on 3 years ago, which is, again, crazy to think about. And that it was not received super great. So shout outs to them for keeping, working on it. I think that's great. We shall see, free updates. You just can't complain. I mean, it's a free update. That's awesome. If you're asking me to pay like $30-40 for a DLC, I want to make sure it launches okay. But again, it's a DLC for a game that they've done a lot of work on, pro bono. So I'm more willing to see what this is like. DLC is 20. I thought it was 30. Is it 20? The update's not coming to PS4. I totally believe that. I think without a doubt, Cyberpunk 2077 was held back because they were both trying to get it running on current gen consoles, and it was tough to get it running at all on that. And then they also were trying to, like, at the same time hold up this thing over here, which is the PS4 and Xbox One generation of consoles, and I just think they couldn't keep up with it. It's £25 in the UK. Okay, so 30 in the States. Yeah, that makes sense. 3 years of support laughs in No Man's Sky. Yeah, No Man's Sky is probably the most crazy example of a game just coming back from the absolute brink of oblivion. Which, shout out to them for doing that. They didn't have to. I think it's awesome. So yeah, they're doing a lot to it. They're doing a lot. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, Rocky. Bethesda has one big piece of advice for Starfield players. Uh-oh. Is this going to get me in trouble, Rocky? Bethesda executive Pete Hines advises Starfield players not to ignore the activities in the game as they can lead to amazing places and stories. Hines reveals that Starfield really gets started after the players finish the main quest, suggesting an exciting post-story experience. Starfield will feature a new Game Plus mode, a departure from previous Bethesda titles, giving players the ability, or the freedom rather, to explore endlessly. I don't think I can comment on this at all without hinting at my opinion of all of these things. So I don't think I can offer anything other than, okay. It's so tough, dude. I just want to let loose, but I can't. Because, like, if I say, oh, he's totally right, or if I say, oh, he's totally wrong and he's talking out his ass, like, I like, there's no way to say it where I'm not making a comment about the game that I wouldn't be able to make otherwise, So I just don't think. I don't think I can say anything about it. I just can't. I can say I'm reviewing it, which I have done a painful number of times, I'm sure. But I don't think I can say like anything about any of the other crap, Give me something in DMs, maybe. Rocky, realize you just posted that publicly, so now I can't do that. Actually, I do think I have to have everybody on the team that has access to, like, the server and everything. I have to have them sign a fresh NDA and all that stuff. But what would your comment be if you could comment? That's funny. Is it stressful for you? Yeah, it's like walking on glass, dude. It's like I'm trying very hard to be a good boy, but it just, one thing can slip that you aren't, like, you thought was public knowledge that's not. Like, what's an example of a game that came out where, like, there was a question that's really, like, bland that pretty much instantly when you start playing it? I mean, maybe, like, Well, I mean, I guess I'll just use the example that I saw today. There's an article I saw today that was whether or not, the whole article was written on whether or not Starfield supports DLSS. Now, I can't tell you if it does or not, because it's not publicly available as far as I can tell, whether it does or does not support DLSS. But that's something like, if I just casually thought that it supported that, or that it didn't support that, or that it had like already been disclosed whether it did or didn't, I could just casually mention it and just not realize that I had made the mistake. And so that's why it's so stressful, is because you're just like, there's been some stuff they've revealed publicly, which you're of course allowed to say. I can say like, it's an Xbox game that's publicly available, you know? I can say all of that. But anything else that like hasn't been publicly revealed, I can't mention. So even something as down as like basic as, oh, is this weird, obscure, not that obscure, but is this like individual graphic option supported? I can't mention. I can't even mention like, oh, is there a gamma slider? I can't mention any of that. So it's just a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Luke's video is going to be, I told you so. The thumbnail's going to have needs land vehicles. Oh man, I will say I'm taking it very seriously. I am not trying to just waltz in and do like a lazy little review where I play it for 20 hours and I'm like, okay, here are my thoughts. I'm digging deep. So buckle up, baby. It's going to be good. Okay, let's look at another one. I saw some people mentioning 4-hour review. Yeah, dude, with 2 full weeks to play the game, we could easily have like a 4-hour review if I wanted to do that. I don't think we'll do that, but maybe what we do is we do like the day 1 review, and then like 2 days later we just drop the critique. Just like, boom, here's a 3-hour video, done, have fun. Maybe we do that, you know? Will you go as in depth like the Valhalla video? I expect to, yeah. Already, I mean, as you guys would expect, there's been a lot of testing, and shout out to BGS for providing the game so early. So I've pushed the game about as far as you possibly can, which is pretty cool. Thank you for the 2. Are there more stars or fields in Starfield? That is a very good question. That's freaking awesome. I love that. Oh man, how long do you normally get for reviews? Recently it's been like 3 days. Recently stuff has been like 3 days. Baldur's Gate 3, I think I had 4 or 5 days. They sent it late on like in the afternoon on one day, and so I guess it was like 4.5 days, but I mean it was basically 5 days. And then Atlas Fallen was, I think that was also like a full week. Immortals of Avium was also like a week and a half. So those were nice and long. They were also pretty polished, but a lot of the other games that are less polished are like, they're like, oh no, we forgot to send it to you. You have a day. You know, it's always kind of tricky. Especially because a lot of developers will polish like the first handful of hours or the first 10% of their game or something. And so if they give the review code to you and you kind of are like, oh, I'll get the work in progress impressions review out. And then you're like, yeah, and the game's pretty polished. But the moment you pass that like 10% threshold or whatever it is, the game just starts breaking all over the place because they polished the front of it, not the back half of it. You know, even Baldur's Gate 3 kind of has that problem. Baldur's Gate 3 Act 3 has a lot of bugs and weird stuff that happens. Weird companion behavior. Apparently they just fixed a lot of it with this patch that went up today. But even Baldur's Gate 3 had that issue because of course you focus most of the polishing on early in the game where most players are going to experience it. And then that buys you time as they work towards the later game to fix it up. So anyway, Are you still playing Baldur's Gate? I've not been able to play Baldur's Gate for the last like week and a half. Just being honest. Since I got Starfield, I've pretty much just been swarmed with Starfield stuff. Okay. Okay, let's look at Crimson Desert. Some people in chat were mentioning this is not all that it may appear to be. If you were the one posting those comments, please repost those comments because I want to see what those are in chat. Because it was you. Okay, Mr. K, if you can put what you were saying before back in chat so I can see what it was. That would be awesome. We're gonna look at this. From what I've seen, people are generally very positive, but Mr. K is saying perhaps there's more to it than what we are seeing on screen. So we're gonna check it out and then we're gonna dig deep, I suppose. We're gonna get into it. Also, everybody like the stream, otherwise my mods will attack me. Pearl Abyss. Did you guys know that's my stripper name? Sure is. Just kidding, it's sour cream. Why is it so blurry? Hold on, this is unacceptable. Is that just... Why is it just... Dude, what even is this compression? Hold on. Hold, please. This is like laughably compressed. Crimson Desert gameplay. Let's just search that. Crimson Desert gameplay trailer, Gamescom. Okay, from the official devs. 4K. Okay, much better. Okay. Much better already. Dude. Best fishing. Remember that was one of the questions they asked Todd during that interview with Kind of Funny Games. They're like, is there space fishing? This looks outrageous. Oh, that's amazing. He's the Pied Piper. The rats are following him. Dude.
Monir Sacrain donated €5.99 through Super Chat. Do you have any comment on or do you plan to watch the AC Mirage trailer here?
I have it pulled up, my friend. We will watch it, and then I will comment on it. Thank you, my friend, for the $5.99. It's also very generous. Again, you guys are being so generous today. Is it what I'm wearing? Or is it just because you guys see the flying spaghetti monster behind me climbing out of Hogwarts Castle? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Either way, thank you guys. You guys are wonderful. Hot air balloons? And you can climb trees. Oh, it's Assassin's Creed as well. Dude, what isn't this game? Pole vaulting, of course. Can you fly and glide? You can, because of course you can. And there's giant tree monsters. And Tears of the Kingdom. And boss fights. And raids. Just chucking the guy. And dragons. Bro. That... This is one of those moments where I'm like... It almost looks too good to be true. You know? It's one of those. Shout out! Play of the game. Right there. Sean Parker gifted 5 memberships to the community. That is ridiculous, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, my friend, and welcome everybody who got their memberships. Rocky got gifted his membership. Welcome back, Rocky. Welcome back, Rocky. You're a real person again. Welcome back. That's tremendous. Thank you so much, my friend. Sean, play the game right there. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Looks like Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, so I'm... my position whenever a game is starting to look like, oh, is it too good to be true? Usually it is. Usually the hammer will drop somewhere else, or shoe will drop. What is the saying? I don't know. I think it's hammer will drop. So a couple of things I noticed. One thing here in the grassy section, they're using like FSR or something to upscale the grass, because everything else is super sharp. The grass looks like absolute shit. So I think that could be part of the way that they're achieving some improved performance and getting this running at 4K. And it just really comes out in full force in this section. So that is less than ideal. But in terms of like actual mechanics, I personally don't know how you fake this many varied combat systems, because like none of this is cinematics as far as I can tell. This is running in-game, in-engine, and maybe they like walk some of the graphic settings back, but I'm more interested in the core mechanics. Like the again, the upscaled grass looks terrible, but everything else looks pretty good, and the core mechanics are what I'm interested in. And it just seems like this has a ridiculous number of mechanics all at the same time. So, and dude, look at that. Like, you can use hot air balloons. Presumably you can just explore all of that. That's pretty crazy. This game has been in development for a while. It looks like it, dude. Guys, this looks 50 times more than Black Desert. How are you even comparing them? It's not even the same engine. What is this running in? Is it a proprietary thing that they're using? Yeah, the trailer looks insane. It's like combining Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Assassin's Creed, GTA 5, Ultimate Fishing Simulator all into one game. Plus there are cats and even a tree beard. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, the main inspirations I'm seeing, Assassin's Creed for one, with the free climbing. So that's absolutely fair. It seems that they're trying to lean into maybe some Red Dead with the taming of the horses and the outside exploration. You can see some of the fringing and artifacting from the upscaling as well. So it seems like they're relying pretty heavily on that upscaling to hit 4K, which is fine. It only improves with time. But like numbers of people on screen, look at this. So you have all of these are controlled with their own respective AI. They're very simplistic, but you know, just little sheep. And then all of these humanoids walking around, giant, all this. Like, this is a lot happening on screen actually when you break it down. I don't know what the last game was where I had this many individual like living things all on screen at the same time. Like that right there is what, a dozen people? Even more over here. Like you probably have 2-3 dozen people on screen right now. That's pretty crazy. It's running in Unity. Pole vaulting in to a camp. I mean, this looks absolutely crazy. And then to see that you can just leap with your horse off a cliff and then glide. And it's like a pretty cool raven feather flying animation. Like that's pretty crazy. I don't know, just across the board, it looks wild. But as we've said before, often when games look too good to be true, it's because they are in fact too good to be true. And so usually the you know, there's something else that comes along that complicates it. Maybe it's that this is literally everything the game has to offer and there's just not much beyond this. And so after the first 2 hours, you realize, oh, I can skydive kind of like in Tears of the Kingdom, but there's not much else I can do. Honestly, it might not be a bad idea to go as a game developer and look at the trailers for some of the most anticipated games and be like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom offers skydiving. So the game comes out in like 2 years, but we're going to add that skydiving because we're sure that Tears of the Kingdom is going to be amazing. So we're going to make a system very similar to it and release later that year or the year following. And then they do it. And then this happens. We're like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom, amazing game. And this has stuff like that, you know? Yeah, the concern might be that they're trying to do too much. Because like you're saying, it seems like they're doing a little bit of everything, like every single big game from recent memory. And my question is like, we've known about the Sky Islands in Tears of the Kingdom for a while. But my question is like, did they really just go like, okay, well, we're just going to do that. And they just looked at a bunch of games that are popular and decided, oh, we'll just do that. It's not to say it's going to be bad, but I'm hoping that there's some really original stuff too, you know? I don't know. It just looks fake. Yeah, it's one of those moments where it's like, this looks too good to be true. And so if we're skeptical and it ends up being amazing and living up to this standard set in this trailer, we're going to be very excited because it will have lived up to the hype, right? Well, it'll live up to those expectations and we will be all the more excited because we didn't expect it to. We were like, yeah, I'm willing to be convinced it will, but I'm not sure how you could pull this off. And then if it ends up being trash and it's just turns out they've kind of overpromised and underdelivered, then we don't have our hearts broken because we weren't relying on it or putting our faith in it, you know. Reminds me of the day before somehow. I don't know why. The day before was weird though, because they were very, very coy about showing any actual gameplay systems beyond like very limited scope combat encounters with the same exact zombies copied and pasted over and over again with very basic shooting mechanics. And like, that was it. This is like pretty complex animation sets, like destroyable environments. There's a lot of work that's been done in the lighting and in particle effects. And I mean, just getting the horse animations working like this is no small feat. So to see them just casually doing it for this trailer, like that little pivot that the horse just did there, I need you to understand, like, to do that, they had to move the joystick to the left as if they were going to turn to the left. So the horse starts to pivot its rear end around, but then the joystick moves back to the right to continue running this way. So then the horse starts kind of trotting sideways and then blends into that animation as it starts running forward again. Like, this is not easy to do. See a little sidestep, and then they move the joystick back to the right. So he stops turning and instead starts shifting to the right. But instead of just rotating to the right, it blends the animations together. And so it sidesteps and then turns more fully with the animations all blended together, like pretty perfectly as far as I can tell. This is not easy, like at all. And so to see them just casually doing it for this portion of the trailer is pretty cool. Like they put that in there for those animation nuts that know how hard that is to do. That's the only reason this shot exists in this trailer. So I see this, and I see a lot of stuff that is not easy to just toss together. Furthermore, are they actually doing like muscle contractions like Red Dead did? It does kind of look like they are. In the leg, you see the muscle contracting as it runs. I don't think it's as detailed as Red Dead was. Maybe it's just an artifact of the video compression and I'm seeing things, but it does look like the actual muscle is contracting as it moves. So if it's fake, they did some crazy work to fake all of this. Honestly, I think it might be harder to fake it than to just get it working. So I don't know, but it looks very, very good. It looks very good. Yeah, it's pretty lush and verdant environment for a desert. Maybe the Crimson Desert is metaphorical. Oh yeah, like blood or something. People need to go Black Desert Online. They are very skillful devs. Yeah, Caleb and Corey, my buddies, they played a lot of Black Desert back in the day. I don't think I ever touched it, but they spoke highly of it. Oh, they definitely made this. I'm not saying it's CGI. I definitely think they made this, but I'm skeptical whether it'll be good in a package altogether. Oh yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. It's insane how all of these unknown Asian studios coming out of nowhere are more skilled than Naughty Dog, Rockstar, CDPR all combined. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. A lot of these studios are coming out and they're dropping crazy trailers that look wild. How they tie together into a single package is another beast entirely. Furthermore, a lot of these companies are showing a lot of potential, certainly, but a lot of them are showing that potential because they've gotten angel investments from like Tencent, and Tencent will throw money at you because they're made of money. However, they need a return on the investment, and usually that comes in the form of egregious monetization. And that's why you see so many of these very talented devs in China, Japan, wherever, going and producing games that have like gotcha systems in them, which is really, really frustrating because the game can be really good, but then it has this outrageous monetization scheme. So my hope is that maybe they did just get thrown hundreds of millions of dollars to produce this. I'm hoping it's not toxic in how they put it together. But I mean, this is wild. Just worrying about their package. We all are. Look up Doki V coming out. Looks same studio. That one looks kind of crazy too. Okay. Yeah, what is this being pitched as? I can look that up here in just a second. It's an upcoming open world action adventure that will make global release on both console and PC. An epic of survival with a focus on immersive storytelling and intense action. Crimson Desert follows a group of struggling mercenaries and the many characters who cross their paths in the vast continent of Pyvel. This is a world where heroes are made, but not without incredible hardship, pain, and perseverance. So it sounds like it's a single player game. Open this. Hold on. Black Desert. Doki V. So they're doing a lot. I mean, they have a Tokyo office, Korean office, an office in Europe, LA, Taiwan. Stock info. Oh, so they are publicly traded. They rock the world. Hold on, what is that? Rock the world, befriend an adorable, whimsical dokebi that gains strength from people's dreams and get ready to embark on an exciting adventure. What the hell is even that? What am I looking at? I think we did see a trailer for this a while back, didn't we? Was it like super cringy? Oh yeah, it's like really strange, uncanny valley because they're like anime or like cartoony looking characters, but they all have actual motion capture on them and more realistic cloth physics and stuff, so it's just really unsettling. Official music video. Oh god. Gameplay trailer. Okay. Is this copyrighted music? It probably is, let's be honest. Okay, so it's like an open world little thing. Are you playing as a child? I can't tell if this is supposed to be somebody 50 or somebody that's like 7 years old. So like some skateboarding, world exploration. Okay. I'm gonna be real. I don't even really know what I'm looking at. Oh, hey, babe. Thank you. Thanks, babe. Appreciate you, babe. I got you, babe.
You got me, babe.
You got me, babe.
You got me, babe.
One time we went to a karaoke night and there was like a 90-year-old couple that were very, very cute, but they the whole time were like trading songs, and she was old and feeble and she couldn't stand up by herself, so he had to like help her walk up to the little stage area where they sang karaoke, and then he sat her down in the chair and he was like really giggly for a really old man. It was very cute. And then they sang this song that's like it was I Got You Babe is the whole song, and he's singing I Got You Babe, and then she is playing it like dry, like she's not having fun with it. We're like, yes, you got me. Yes, it was very funny. They traded off. It was wonderful. So now every once in a while we do that little thing where it's like, yeah, I got you, babe. You got me, babe. I got you, babe. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. You just don't get it, okay? You don't get it. Okay, combat. The frame rates are taking an absolute they're getting slapped upside the head, but this could be, I mean, this improves a lot. It's in development, so you wouldn't expect it to run perfectly. I mean, when it's running smoother, I'm sure it's going to look great. I'll be real, I don't know if this is for me. It's very cute. I'm not sure if it's the kind of game I would play, but I could totally see people getting into it. I know the types. I know the types. It's very weird. Yeah. God, I'm so down for, or I'm so down bad for Skate 3. That skating had me interested in the game for a second, like a trance. Dude, just that little bit. And in 70 years, you two will be the new old couple singing the song and the circle will continue. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I got you, babe. Every once in a while, I wonder what happened to those guys. I'm like, I hope they're okay. They were funny. Anyway, Pearl Abyss. Yeah, they're a publicly traded company in, I'm assuming, the Korean stock exchange. So, I mean, they have a lot of stuff working. They've got Black Desert Mobile, Crimson Desert, Dookie Plan 8, which I think is also in development. Yeah. Exosuit MMO shooter. So it just looks like Black Desert probably blew up, has made them a bunch of money. 20 million players, 28 million downloaded copies. And so now they're trying to break into some other stuff. And frankly, it looks good. It looks good. So I mean, in 5 years, we might be in a spot where the top developers in the world are not any of these like PlayStation or Xbox studios. They might be some of these new studios from the East that are just getting their feet under them, having gotten a ton of money and success from like mobile games and online gotcha games that just print money. And then they're able to pour money and huge budgets into these more single player focused games. The industry could change really, really quickly if you think about the sheer volume of cash that some of these companies can just throw at developing something insane like this. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Okay, we got 15 minutes before Joel Raptor joins us. Let's see. Crimson Desert looks great. Wukong also looks great. Killer Bean looks amazing, of course. I think we'll probably look at or talk about Mirage with Joel Raptor, so we should probably touch on that. Okay, let's look at this real quick. The new Baghdad trailer. Can you also just agree that flamingos are an outrageous creature? They're just ridiculous. They have no right to exist. Like the dinosaurs went extinct and all we got left over were these things? Come on, dude. Come on. How you're telling me that these things are better suited for their environment than like a pteranodon? Like, come on.
كم مضى منذ رحيلك عن بغداد؟
أعوام لا أذكر مقدارها. كنت أعرف دائما أنني سأعود يوما ما.
لقد عاد للتو من كنا في المتجر ولذا
قضيت الكثير من طفولتي في هذه الشوارع. لطالما كنت أستمتع بهذا المكان. كنا نتسلل إلى بيت الحكمة في صغرنا أنا وصديقتي نهال. السلام عليكم. ذكريات جميلة صارت كريهة الآن. قلبي يتألم لما حدث لهم.
I think they're nailing the marketing campaign, honestly. I was iffy on it because they were really quiet for a long time, but it turns out they were just kind of waiting patiently to drop a lot of these trailers and stuff closer to launch, and it seems to be working. People are pretty stoked on it. I mean, when was the last time that like an Assassin's Creed trailer was consistently getting very positive like to dislike ratios? You know, it's been a minute. So shout out to Ubisoft. I think they cracked the code. It's almost like players just want a really solid game set in a historical location that doesn't complicate it with weird magic abilities. It's really weird how that works, right?
وها أنا ذا مستتر يتهيأ لإعادة النور إلى أحلك أركان المدينة. إني أبعد نصلي عن الأبرياء وليس عن تنظيم القدماء. لننهي هذا الأمر.
You know, it's just, to me, it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm excited to try it. I'm hoping we can review it and everything. Flamethrower, yeah, it's like a jar that has like a little flame thing on it. Then it's compressed, so when they break it open, it fires flames out. Is it the most reasonable thing? No. But I mean, we're talking about a video game where like a single dude can free climb casually up skyscrapers and never slip. So I'll meet them in the middle with that. I read in an article this Assassin's Creed has guns in the end game. I guess we shall see. I don't know. Did they improve AI? I don't think so. Because again, it's just built in the Valhalla tool set. So I'm expecting AI to be comparable to Valhalla. Also, it's really funny to me. Somebody watched a recent video where I casually did the Valhalla reference, and they didn't realize I was referencing something. So they're like, "Oh my God, dude, how are you this old and how have you talked about Assassin's Creed so much and you still don't know that it's pronounced Valhalla?" So this guy doesn't know how to pronounce the word right. Why is no one mentioning this? He got very heated in his comment. It was a little funny. I'm gonna be real. It was a little ridiculous. Anyway. The only thing I've seen that I don't like is the ability to instantly appear behind somebody. Yeah, I don't like that. The teleport thing that they showed at the end of that E3, whatever, Ubisoft Forward trailer that they did. I didn't love that. If it was up to me, I would cut that. But if that's the only weird remnant of supernatural stuff we have to deal with, then okay. MDM, thank you, my friend. It's gonna read the dono here in just a second. Can we have the jingle? Always.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
MDMJT99ALQ donated $5 through Super Chat.
Thank you, my friend.
The problem is I can't take Ubisoft seriously anymore. I'm tired of the overpromising, microtransactions, same looking reskins of Far Cry 3.
I think that's fair. I think they do find a formula that works and then they keep at it. They just re-release it with a new coat of paint. So I think that's fair. I don't think that's an unreasonable feeling. Hopefully this is a departure and this is a little bit different, just enough that it feels fresh. Because they're going back to their roots. And after that, I mean, we have Avatar later this year, and then next year we're presumably getting Star Wars Outlaws. We're getting potentially another Assassin's Creed game. So hopefully they can come out and show what they've been working on for a while, and it gets us excited again. That's my hope. Alan Woke. People have been saying good things about Alan Wake 2 from Gamescom. It looks pretty dope. Yeah, I think people are pretty stoked on it, all told. I think so. Here's what we're gonna do also. I'm going to create a fresh event. Because we're gonna have Mr. Joraptor joining us here in just a moment. Let's see. So Mr. Joraptor actually went to Gamescom. It's okay. I'm not jealous at all. And he got the chance to play a lot of games like Black Myth Wukong, as far as I'm aware. So Proto, what I think we're going to do is we're going to ask Joraptor what he thought of Black Myth, having actually played it, instead of me just speculating, which I think is going to be more fun. So yeah, we can ask him if he saw Alan Wake 2. We can ask him all of that stuff because apparently he had a pretty busy schedule. So, we're gonna do that. Let's see, Black Myth Wukong. Let's do copy image. Okay. Then we'll just do this. Okay. So what we're going to do, how this is going to work is we are going to be shifting over to a brand new event or stream event or whatever. And so we will end this stream instance, but then the fresh event will be there. So if you just go to Luke Stevens Live on the channel page, you'll see the new event and you can just pop into that chat. But that way, you know, it'll have its own little event. It'll, you know, the VOD will look its own way, which I think will be ideal. So let me export. It is 8:25:23, second thumbnail of the day. Save it. We'll put this in here in the event. And where is it? I would share my screen, but I don't think I can actually share this stuff. Well, okay, we'll do this. Oh God, everything's breaking. If you can, please ask Jordan my question above this message. Mr. K, what was it? People are concerned that it's mostly just serious boss battles with minimum world levels to explore. Can you please ask him? Yeah, we can totally do that. I just started college and my first assignment is to write an essay on an analysis of a YouTube video, and I think I'll do your vid on The Last of Us Part 2. Ooh, that sounds fun, Dom. That sounds really fun, actually. That's one of my most proud videos. That's one I'm very, very proud of. We worked our butts off on it, but I think it turned out pretty good. Personally, I think it turned out really well. I haven't revisited it in a while, so I've wondered if I should go back and like rewatch it sometime to see what I think, if any of my opinions have changed, you know. I think that could be interesting. But yeah, that's a big boy. That's a big boy video. Let's see. I know you're not a Destiny guy, but the new season is about tithing through violence to our goth mommy god of vengeance in order to empower her to destroy the god of war. The dope factors. That was a sentence I never thought I would say. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just create this event real quick, and we're going to get Mr. Joraptor on here. Public. I'm going to share the link with you guys in chat, so you can just pop over to that event, and then we will start the podcast, and we can ask Joraptor all of the nitty-gritty details about his time at Gamescom and what he learned and saw. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best thing ever. Share, link, copy. Okay, and then we'll share it here. Okay, so pop over to this event I just posted in chat. We will be over there. We'll talk to Joraptor, and we'll get the podcast started in just a few minutes, okay? Much love. I'll see you over there. Hugs and kisses. See you in a second.